to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have my last 5 reads for you. I figured I would do them before I completely forgot about them because most of these happened pre-pregnancy. So yeah, let's hope, not pre-pregnancy, but pre-delivering my child. So I don't know how much I'm going to remember, but let's hope that I do. So the first book that I read was On the Rocks by Candy Steiner. This is the first book in a series that she is doing. This follows a small town in Tennessee where there is like a whiskey distillery, and it follows these 4 brothers. So each book is going to follow a different brother. And this brother is Becker. No, Becker is the brother, their last name. Sorry. His name is, why can't I say it? Noah. It's on the tip of my tongue. Noah, and he works at the distillery. He makes barrels, and his family has a history with this whiskey distillery. His grandfather should have been co-owner but wasn't, and then his father died in a fire there. So there's lots of drama that goes on with them even working there in the first place. And when he's there one day, he has to show the mayor's daughter these premium VIP whiskey barrels that you can buy if you're basically made of money, because she's getting married and she's giving it as a gift to her fiance. She's also only 19 years old getting married, and it's kind of her love experience with Noah and their relationship, and I have to say that I loved this book. I gave this book 5 stars. It really reminded me of Noah and Allie from The Notebook, the movie version. I don't really like the book too much, so I don't really remember too much about them in there, but just their demeanor together and their personalities together, it just reminded me of them, and I just really loved this love story, and I could not wait to continue on with this series. Right now, only the first 2 books are out, so I'm going to jump ahead. I did read a book in the middle, but I did pick up Neat eventually, almost immediately right after. Neat is book 2, and this follows another brother. This follows Logan, and it's kind of more of a Romeo and Juliet kind of story, and this follows Logan and his relationship with Mallory. Mallory is the daughter of the distillery owner, so kind of a Romeo and Juliet kind of story. I forgot to include this in my book haul, so if you're watching my September book haul, I did also get this month because it came out September 19th, but Amazon had it released early, so that's why I was able to read it before Sydney showed up. So yeah, I read these 2 books, and I cannot wait to get the other 2 because, like I said, she's going to write one for each Becker brother. So there's 2 more brothers left, and I cannot wait. So if you like small town romances, if you like whiskey, and if you like just that kind of vibe, you will definitely like these books, I believe. One of the thrillers that I read, so the book that I read in between those 2 was Before She Knew Him by Peter Swanson. Previously, I've read 2 other Peter Swanson books. I read A Kind Worth Killing and Her Every Fear. And I have to say that this is probably my least favorite of the 3. I liked the other 2. Peter Swanson hasn't been a thriller author that I necessarily love, but I definitely enjoy him for the most part. But for this one, I wasn't too crazy about it. This couple is living in a house in a neighborhood, and somebody, I believe they just move in, and they have these neighbors, and they end up meeting the neighbors, and while she's in their house, she sees something that makes her think of this murder that she knew about. So now she's kind of suspicious of him and thinks that he's a murderer. So we're alternating perspectives between his perspective and her perspective, and I don't know, I found it to be okay. It wasn't that great. It's so forgettable that I really don't have much to say. I feel like the ending, you had to almost suspend your disbelief a little bit. It didn't feel like a believable, twisty ending to me. I didn't see it coming, but it also just didn't feel like that's what should have went down. I don't know. It wasn't my thing. I didn't like this one. I think I gave it 3 stars. Oh yeah, and when I'm so bad at this. It's been so long since I've done a 5 reads video that I don't remember. I gave On the Rocks 5 stars, and I gave Neat 4 stars. 4.5 because I knew that I liked it a little bit less than On the Rocks because I didn't care for Mallory as much. So I definitely liked the relationship in On the Rocks better. So I gave that one 5 stars and this one just like a 4.5. But yeah. And then for Contemporary-thon, so you're going to see this in my Contemporary-thon vlog, I was reading The Neighbors by Hannah Mary McKinnon. This I started like the Friday or Saturday before Contemporary-thon started, but I didn't get very far. So I was like 44% in when Contemporary-thon started, but I finished it on day 1. This book was interesting. In the beginning, I really liked it because it alternates perspectives pretty quickly. So like it has a then and a now, but it also like follows both sets of neighbors. So there's again a family that's living there and a family that moves in. The family that's currently living there, the wife, her brother was killed in a car accident years prior, and she kind of believes that it was her fault. And these neighbors move in, and it turns out that it's her boyfriend from the time of the accident, and they kind of pretend like they don't know each other. So it kind of follows both neighbors' perspectives, like so all 4. So each husband, each wife has a perspective, and then a then and a now, and then the wife from the accident. It would help if I said names, probably. Her daughter also kind of has a mini perspective. And I felt like it was okay. Like, it was just kind of chugging and chugging and chugging, and it was okay. And then the end was like, boom, let me throw everything at you at once. And some of it I predicted. There was one thing that just didn't feel like it made any sense to add to the story. That was, like, the one thing that I didn't see coming. I don't know. It had a really weird ending. So, like, it started off really strong, and then it got dull by the middle because nothing was being revealed. And the end was just kind of like a train wreck. So 3 stars for this one as well. So that was a bummer. And then the last book that I read was A Spark of Light by Jodi Picoult, and I did not really love this book. I have been so excited to get my hands on this because I felt like it was going to be drama-filled, and I felt like it was going to be suspenseful, and I just thought I was going to get more out of this story, and I didn't. This follows a abortion clinic. So it's kind of a woman's clinic. Like, it's known for their abortions, but they do other things as well. And a gunman comes and takes hostages there, and it kind of gets told backwards. So we get 5 o'clock at night, and it goes backwards all the way until like 9 in the morning, and then the epilogue is 6 o'clock at night. So it's told backwards, which I think made it really hard to get a good feel for these characters. I feel like I didn't get to know them until the end because I like got to barely skim the surface in the beginning, and then more was revealed about them as it went. So I felt like I didn't get that instant connection to them. There's also very similar in names, which doesn't, like, there was a Joy, there was a Janine, and Izzy, which Izzy is not similar, but like the IJ, I don't know. I just like kept getting some of these characters really, really confused because too, the chapters are like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and like, so these chapters would be like 40 pages long, and it just was hard to focus on it. It also follows the negotiator's perspective, who has a daughter who is in the clinic at the time of the shooting. And I don't know, like I said, I didn't enjoy my experience reading it. It definitely felt like the beliefs of the author were getting shoved down my throat a little bit. It definitely kind of tried to be like, I'm going to give you both like opinions, but like really like this is the opinion you should really think matters. So I didn't really appreciate that. The ending twist I saw coming. And then there's another twist that was kind of at the end. And again, didn't really feel necessary. It just kind of came out of complete left field. So I didn't appreciate that. I currently am not rating this because I feel like it definitely, with like the whole belief system and things like that, I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to put my finger on like what I would give it. There's also a very vivid description of an abortion in here, which freaked me out, to be honest. There's a couple cringy scenes in here that just like, especially as a new mom, it wasn't for me right now. And unfortunately, I did not enjoy my experience reading this, and I'm not rating it right now. During this last 5 reads, I also DNF'd a book. I DNF'd The Glitterin Court by Rochelle Mead. I'm just not interested. I thought I would be able to like pull it together and kind of keep going. I got 52 pages in and I'm calling it a day. I don't like the premise of it. Like, the premise made sense until I was actually reading it, and then I felt like it wasn't handled properly. It's about this girl who is kind of like royalty in where she lives, and one day she is kind of promised to a man to marry. It's like one of her cousins, and because her parents are dead and like she's running out of money and all this stuff, so she needs to get married, and she doesn't want to marry this guy. There's really no rhyme or reason why. His grandmother tells her that she's going to have to like let go of some of her staff. So, because they have plenty of staff where she's going. So she's like in the process of like letting go staff, and there's something called the Glitterin Court, which is this like company who like takes like normal women and tries to make them kind of royalty, because there's a new land that they are like developing, and these men that live there kind of want brides. So like they train you for a year to become this like dignified woman, I guess, and then you kind of get put to the highest bidder in this new world. And she decides that apparently that sounds so much better than going to marry her cousin. I mean, granted, it's her cousin, but it's like a long distance cousin. So it's not like the cousin isn't him, her being related to him isn't the reason why she doesn't want to marry him. So she decides that like her maid, who is supposed to go to the Glitterin Court, she's going to like send off to be with her family, and she is going to take her place and go to the Glitterin Court for her. But in the end, you're still ending up in an arranged marriage anyway, so I don't understand why, and potentially to somebody even worse than this guy. So I don't know. I'm not a fan. And then I heard that the rest of the books are actually just like the same story kind of told from different perspectives too. So like it's not worth it. It was really boring the first 50 something pages, so I'm not going to power through it. I'm bummed because 1, the cover is stunning. 2, it's Rochelle Mead, and I love the Vampire Academy series. I love the Blonde Line series. I liked Boundless, so I really wanted to like this, and I didn't. So that's going to get DNF'd and donated eventually. And then the book that I'm currently reading is Bridesmaids by Zara Stoneley. I don't know. I'm only 26 pages in, so we'll have to see how that one goes. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye, everybody.